All right, so we're diving into some Shakespeare today.
Ooh, sounds intense.
It is. It is. But also, hopefully, fun.
Okay, I like fun. What are we looking at?
Macbeth, Act 5, Scene 8,
Yeah, we're at the climax here.
big time.
Like final boss battle territory.
Exactly. But with way more poetry.
Oh yeah, Shakespeare's gonna... Shakespeare?
Always.
So we've got sources lined up to like unpack all the layers.
Everything from plot to like the deeper themes Shakespeare's playing
So,
with.
so important here, you know? Like, this scene's not just about, bam, fighting.
Right. There's so much more going on.
It's about consequences.
Facing your destiny.
Good versus evil, all that.
Huge stuff. Even for a bunch of dudes in tights running around, right?
Exactly. It's timeless human stuff.
Okay, so picture this. The battlefield, tension's high, Macbeth's surrounded.
Oh yeah, his world's falling apart at this point.
Totally. Wife's gone, allies are ditching him, even the trees are coming for him.
That's a whole other scene though, right?
Yeah, we'll get there. But even in these opening lines, Macbeth's still got fight in him.
Okay, the guy's stubborn.
He is. He says, "Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whiles I see lives, the gashes do better upon them."
Wow, so he's still thinking about taking others down with him?
Even in defeat.
That's hardcore.
It is. It shows that even though things are falling apart, he's still clinging to power.
Refusing to accept defeat.
And we got to remember, at this point, he thinks he's invincible.
Because of those witches, right? And their prophecy.
Right. Which we'll unpack more, but yeah, he's feeling pretty confident, to say the least.
And then Macduff shows up.
Talk about bad timing for Macbeth.
Right. Macduff enters, vengeance in his eyes.
This isn't just some random battle for him, remember?
Yeah.
It's personal.
This is where knowing the backstory is so key, even if you've read the play before.
Totally. Macbeth had Macduff's entire family murdered.
Brutal.
So yeah, Macduff is fueled by rage.
It adds this whole other layer to the fight.
Absolutely. So he doesn't even bother with hello, just comes in hot, yelling, "Turn, hellhound, turn."
God damn.
Right. Such a strong image.
And coming from Macduff, it's even more powerful.
Because he's supposed to be the honorable one.
Right. Yeah, but even he's twisted by Macbeth's evil.
The corruption's spreading.
It really shows you the impact Macbeth's had.
Okay, so back to the showdown. Macbeth hears this, and because of that prophecy, he basically laughs it off.
Overconfident much.
Big time. He throws the witch's words back at Macduff, says, "As easy mayest thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born."
Talk about tempting fate.
And that's where Shakespeare flips the script. Macduff drops a truth bomb.
Okay, what is it?
He says, "Despair thy charm. Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped."
Wait, so he wasn't born, like, normally?
Not technically.
And that messes with the prophecy, right?
Big time. Because the witches said no man born of woman could harm Macbeth.
And suddenly he's not so invincible.
Nope. His whole world just gets rocked.
Imagine thinking you're untouchable and then bam.
Right. The rug's pulled out from under him.
What does Macbeth even do at that point?
It's amazing you see him having this, like, mental breakdown in real time.
On stage.
He cries out, "Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man, and be these juggling fiends no more believed. I'll not fight with thee."
Wow, so he's realizing he's been tricked.
By the witches, by his own ambition, the whole deal.
It's interesting, though, he doesn't immediately blame the witches.
That's true.
He says, "Accursed be that tongue." Like he's blaming Macduff for telling him.
Like for breaking the spell he was under.
Yeah, like, don't ruin my fantasy here.
Which shows how deep in denial he still is.
Not ready to face the music.
And Macduff senses that, so he twists the knife even further.
Oof, what does he do?
He paints this picture, taunting Macbeth, saying, "Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. Painted upon a pole and under it, here may you see the tyrant."
Coward. After everything Macbeth's done.
Yeah, that word's got a sting.
Especially for someone who's built his whole identity around being strong and ruthless.
Totally. It's like calling a superhero weak the ultimate insult.
He's being forced to see himself how everyone else sees him.
And it ain't pretty.
Not at all. And for Macbeth, that's the worst thing, right? Worse than any battle wound.
To be seen as weak, yeah.
So what's he gonna do?
He decides to go out fighting.
Even though he knows he's probably doomed.
He says, "I will not yield. Though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damn be him that first cries, 'Hold, enough!'
Damn, that's some serious defiance.
It is right, like a last burst of refusing to be totally defeated.
I guess he could just give up.
But there's something in him that won't let him go out like that,
Still clinging to that warrior image.
even if it means he dies.
And then the stage directions are so interesting here. They just say, exit fighting, alarums.
So the actual fight happens off stage.
Why do you think Shakespeare did that?
Well, I think it keeps the focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah, like the ideas, the consequences.
If we saw this huge, bloody battle on stage, it might distract from those things.
Right. Like the points about ambition, fate, all that.
It's not about glorifying violence, it's about what comes after.
The echoes of those actions, yeah.
And we still hear about the cost of Macbeth's reign.
Even though we don't see the actual fighting.
Exactly. We see the ripple effects.
Like with young Seward.
Right, Seward's son who gets killed in the battle.
It's tragic.
Especially when you remember how Seward sent him off earlier?
Full of pride.
Now he's dealing with this huge loss.
It shows how even the good guys aren't immune.
No, the cost of war.
It's a reminder that there are real consequences here.
And Seward's reaction to his son's death is so interesting.
What does he say?
He says, "Why then God's soldier be he? Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them to a fairer death." And so his knell is knolled.
There's grief there, but also pride.
Like, he finds comfort in knowing his son died honorably.
Fighting for the right cause.
It connects back to those themes of duty, sacrifice.
And then bam! Macduff enters with Macbeth's head.
Talk about a dramatic entrance.
Shakespeare doesn't hold back.
Nope. It's pretty gruesome.
But it makes a statement, right?
Totally. Like a visual representation of the end of Macbeth's tyranny.
The severing of the head, the breaking of the cycle.
And Macduff doesn't just drop it. He holds it up and says, "Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, withstands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free."
He's not just celebrating victory, he's declaring Scotland's freedom.
It's like a weight has been lifted.
The time is free. Powerful word.
And he acknowledges Malcolm as the rightful king.
It's like passing the torch.
The end of one era, the beginning of another.
And then Malcolm steps forward, ready to be king.
He addresses everyone, talks about his plan for the future.
So this is where we see the hope emerging.
After all the darkness, yeah.
What does Malcolm say he'll do? Well, he talks about bringing justice, rewarding his loyal followers.
Making things right.
Yeah, and specifically, he mentions bringing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen.
So those who helped Macbeth and Lady Macbeth?
Exactly, holding them accountable.
Not just forgetting what happened.
Right, it's about facing the past, dealing with the corruption.
And then he talks about planting newly with the time.
Ah, I like that.
It's such a hopeful image, right?
Yeah, like growth, new beginnings.
Even after all the terrible stuff that's happened.
It's a message that goes way beyond the play itself.
Totally. It makes you think about how we deal with challenges in our own lives.
Setbacks and all that.
Yeah. Do we let them defeat us, or do we use them to grow?
That's the power of Shakespeare, I think.
He gives us these complex stories, and we get to, like, grapple with the big questions.
The universal truths about being human.
He doesn't give us easy answers, does he?
Nope, he makes us think.
So we've covered a lot in this deep dive into Act 5, Scene 8. Any final takeaways for our listeners?
For me, it really drives home the point that our choices have consequences.
Like Macbeth's ambition, it led to so much suffering.
It's a cautionary tale, right? About what happens when you lose sight of what's right.
But it's not all doom and gloom.
Definitely not. There's that glimmer of hope in Malcolm's vision.
The possibility of a new beginning.
Even after darkness, there's the potential for healing.
Rebuilding, starting fresh.
A message that's just as relevant today, I think.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Time flies when you're dissecting Shakespeare.
It really does. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Until next time.
See you then for another adventure in the world of ideas.